You're struggling with your self-confidence, and it's something that you really want to develop, but you're having a hard time doing it. So that's why you're not going after things that you want to accomplish in this world, because you don't feel confident to do so. I know how that feels because for many years, I also struggled with my self-confidence. And one of the major reasons why is because of me dealing with abandonment issues. Now, if you somebody, you've been rejected, you've been abandoned, and you had a trauma in your childhood that dealt with abandonment that has synced over to your adulthood, in this video, I want to talk to you about how to stop the fear of abandonment from suppressing your self-confidence. What's up, it's Gene, this word to be great. Now, before I go deep into this, I want to ask you to click the link below and like this video, and also hit that bell so anytime I post a new video, you're notified. Now, let's get into this. Now, I'm going to do my videos a little different for 2026. I'm going to be more raw. I'm going to have more notes that's available in front of me. I don't use scripts because they're very difficult for me, but I'm just going to just give my raw approach about topics. So today we're going to be talking about this fear of abandonment and self-confidence. And I'm going to give you 3 things you can do that's going to help you to develop self-confidence so your abandonment issues do not continue to rule your life. Now, the first thing I want to encourage you to do is to develop a belief system that serves you. Now, the way I'm going to talk about this is from a religious approach because that's how I grew up. I'm not a religious person now. Yes, I am a man of faith. I believe there's a God and you should have faith in him. That's for me personally. But I want to encourage you to have your own belief system that serves you, the one that you have come up with. Now, the reason I'm not religious anymore is because when I was growing up in the church, I've always felt like religion was extremely controlling. Like it seemed like I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, I couldn't say this, I couldn't say that. Now, one situation that really got my attention, even when I was a kid, is when they wanted to give them 10% tithe. Now, even since I was small, my mama said, listen, if you make $5, you need to give, what's that, 10%, 50 cents, I think? I'm not sure. I'm not the best at math. Or let me make it simple. If you make $1, you give 10 cents. Okay, that's better. So you always need to give 10 cents to the church. And I remember I asked my mama, why do I have to give 10 cents to the church? Why I got to give it to this pastor guy? You know what I'm saying? What am I giving him money for? She would tell me, we don't question God. We don't question the pastor. The pastor's there because God put him there. And that sunk in my mind for a long time. And I used to think to myself, if I don't give this 10%, God would abandon me. The church would abandon me. My mom would abandon me. And so that was so in my subconscious mind. And I cannot tell you, over the years, I gave thousands and thousands of dollars to the church, even though I did not want to do it because of this fear of abandonment. But what made a major crack for me, especially as a kid, we had this pastor at the church, right? And he always, every Sunday, asked for the tithes and offering. And I always felt it was kind of fishy or something wasn't right about that, because you never could ask anybody in the church what they were actually doing with the money, which I always thought was strange, even though I was a kid. Well, what ended up happening is that very pastor ended up getting arrested because the church found out he was stealing thousands and thousands of dollars. So he had to step down from that church. Now, this was the craziest thing. After that pastor stepped down, they got another pastor for the church. The people in the church were still loyal about the tithe. They still wouldn't question it. They would still get that 10%. And that just really boggled my mind. Like, I don't understand or get this. And I remember years later, what finally was the nail in the coffin for me is that my cousin wound up dying, and we had to go to the funeral. And this was after I had, been out of college, or maybe I was still in college. I can't remember. But I remember being at the funeral, and when we got there, now we're in the depth of the hood, and it was a brand new BMW outside. And I was like, wow, which one of my family members got a BMW? So we go inside the church, and, we listen to the pastor, and, of course, they pass over the plate. You know how it is. If you've been to church, you know what I'm talking about. So they do all that, right? And so we go outside, and we're about to go to the grave site, and everybody's outside. Now, I'm curious, who drove this brand new BMW? So my cousins get in their car, I'm with my mama, my brothers and sisters, and everybody get out and get in their cars. And pretty much everybody's cars are old hoopty cars. You know what I'm saying? They old cars, and Then the pastor come out and gets in the brand new BMW. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's crazy. This man in the depth of the hood in a brand new BMW. I'm thinking about it every Sunday, everybody giving all this money to the church, and he's able to get a BMW. And I say, you know what? For me, that does not serve me. I am not giving my money to no religious organization to put money in the pastor pocket. I'd rather take my money and give it to a food bank or buy the food myself and go give it to the homeless or give it to somebody that needs some Christmas presents for their kids. I'd rather give money knowing where it goes. So I decide to have a belief that serves me, that when I give, I'm going to make sure I give to a cause or give to a situation in which I know where the money goes. Now, whatever it is that your beliefs are right now, I want you to question yourself and ask yourself this question. Is the beliefs that I have serving me? Are these beliefs from somebody else or are these beliefs that I came up with? Because if they're not serving you, I can guarantee they're most likely beliefs that somebody has for you. And because you're so tied to those beliefs, it's hard for you to break them. And one of the major reasons I think is because you're worried that you're going to be abandoned by family. You're going to be abandoned by friends if you get rid of those beliefs that don't serve you. But if you want to develop real self-confidence, you must develop your own belief system. And it's something I talk about in my book, Word to Be Great, about when I met a pastor who started a business and people started to criticize him because when he was marketing his business, he was marketing himself and he was not marketing God the way they felt he should. And so they accused him of blasphemy. And what he had to do is get rid of that belief system that no longer served him when he was the pastor of a church and get his own belief system as an entrepreneur that allowed him to build his business. So that's what you're going to have to do. If you want to develop your self-confidence and keep that fear of abandonment from keep you from developing the confidence and allow you to live your dreams, you have to start coming up with your own belief system. What has unworthiness already cost you? How many times have you given up on a dream or not even started because you didn't think you were enough? Imagine what you could accomplish if you truly believed in your value instead of sabotaging yourself because of low self-worth. My premium ebook, Worthy to Be Great, can help you change that. It teaches practical skills and tools that will help you transform your life by building unshakable self-worth. So if you're sick and tired of low self-worth stealing your dreams, click the link below and get the premium ebook, Worthy to Be Great, today. 2, decide what is virtue for you. Now, a lot of us hear this all the time that, you must have virtue or be virtuous or however they say it, right? But I can tell you this. I grew up in poverty, right? I grew up in the hood. And one thing that I decided is that there is no virtue in poverty. See, when I was growing up, people talked about poverty like it was a badge of honor. Hey, you got to be poor to show that you're close to God. Hey, you got to be poor to show that you're humble. And I always thought that was crazy. And what really made me start to question it is that some of y'all may know what I'm about to talk about. When I was little, the government was send, I think maybe it was every month, every week, I have no idea. But it was this gigantic block of cheese. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, that cheese was actually good. We used to eat cheese and crackers with it. We used to have that cheese on Christmas Day. It was really good cheese. And I became addicted to it. I remember month after month, we got this cheese and we would eat that cheese for a long time. But then one month, we didn't have that block of cheese. And I remember asking my mom, hey, mama, where's the block of cheese? She said, well, the government decided they're no longer going to send out the cheese anymore. And it was at that moment I understood that when it pertains to poverty, what people give to you in poverty, they can take from you with ease. So I did not want to put myself in a position when I got older, when I was poor, when I'll be poor and people can give me something, especially government, and they can take it away anytime they want to, because I did not see any virtue in that. I didn't see anything in that was empowering. So I made up my mind, there's no virtue in poverty for me. Instead, what I see as virtue is when you work hard, maybe you get wealth, you have some success and you can help others. You can build a business and you can employ others. You can use your wealth to serve others. You can go in, facilities. Like I used to go in these juvenile detention centers and use my knowledge and my skill and my ability to communicate to teach these guys job skills, life skills, communication skills. Now, to me, that is virtuous. And a lot of these guys grew up like me in poverty, without a father. So helping them get on a good path was something that I saw as virtuous, not poverty. So you have to ask yourself, what is virtuous to you? Because here's the thing. If somebody else has told you what is virtuous for you, and you decide to break away from that, there's going to be a fear inside of you that you're going to be abandoned. And that fear of abandonment can be so powerful that you keep on believing that what is virtuous for somebody else is virtuous for you. But you have to make up your mind that you're going to choose your own virtues. You're not going to worry about being rejected. You're not going to worry about being abandoned. And when you get to that point, then you start developing true self-confidence. Number three, stop letting others tell you how to live your life. I think one of the most disrespectful things is when somebody can tell you as an adult how to live your life. What I discovered is that when people are bitter or their life not going the way they want to go, then they have so much time to focus on you to tell you how to live your life. And if you keep letting people do this to you, you will never develop your self-confidence because you'll become dependent on somebody else's path for your life. I remember one Thanksgiving, right? And, we all have this family member that always nosy, always got to tell you what to do, right? So it was a Thanksgiving, it was several years ago. And I had this cousin that, when I was sitting at the table, I'm more of an introverted person. I'm more of an ambivert. I'm kind of like, when I'm on stage, I'm more of a, extrovert. When I'm, one-on-one, most of the time I'm an introvert. Now, I can be both, but mostly I'm an introvert. Well, when I go to these Thanksgiving events and I was sitting at the table with all my family members, right, I'm always quiet. But it seems like people always have a lot of questions about me, right? So this cousin, she has one of those mouths. She was like, everybody know me as Junior. She's like, Junior, when you going to date this person? Or when you going to do this? You need to do this. As a matter of fact, next time you come, I need to see you put some weight on your body because you're too skinny, right? Now, I'm listening to this stuff and everybody's looking at me while she's saying this. And I'm sitting there eating and I feel myself getting real pissed off. But I remember thinking to myself, Gene, do not engage. Because here's the thing. Now, in the midst of her telling me I'm too skinny, what she's doing is she's giving her a shot of insulin in her stomach because she's a diabetic. And there were so many things going in my mind. I want to talk about her weight. I want to talk about the fact she was diabetic. I want to say all these things, but I knew better not to do that because I've been stooping down to her level. See, here's the thing I had made up in my mind. It doesn't matter what she say. She's not going to tell me how to live my life. I'm a very self-confident individual. And the reason I'm that way is because I have chose to be independent and not let somebody else tell me how to live my life. And if you're a person, you let somebody else tell you how to live your life, I want to encourage you to stop worrying about the fear of abandonment. Stop worrying about being rejected. Stop worrying about being criticized and decide to stand in your independence. Make up your mind that you're going to live the life that you want to live. You're not going to let nobody else tell you as an adult how to live your life. You have the right to make decisions for you. You have the right to make decisions on the life that you want to live. And you do not have to explain to somebody else what your decisions are. You're no longer a kid. You're an adult. You have a right to make decisions for you. And when you take that right, you will develop real self-confidence. So I want to share this video with you guys raw because there's a lot of you guys out there, you're struggling with developing self-confidence. And many of you is because of those abandonment issues you had in your childhood. And now you're an adult, you're worried about being abandoned. You're worried about people talking about you. You're worried about people criticizing you or rejecting you. But if you want to develop real confidence, you have to understand that you have the power to overcome those the abandonment issues, and you do not have to let them rule your life. So take control of your life. Make up your mind today that you're no longer going to allow the fear of abandonment to suppress your self-confidence because you are worthy to be great. If you like this video, I want to ask you to like and share this video. Also, hit that bell so anytime I post a new video, you're notified. I also want to ask you to join my Worthy to Be Great newsletter. This newsletter is designed to help you build your self-worth, your self-discipline, your self-confidence so you can achieve your dreams. So click the link below and join my newsletter today.